Hello and welcome to my channel Roseology. I hope this video finds you in amazing spirits. Thank you so much for visiting me. So this video is for all of my Scorpios out there that are Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. And in this reading, we're going to be checking out the energetic forecast for the month of June. So we're going to be covering all the different subjects from finances to your career, to your love life, to your relationship with your family and your close loved ones, as well as the challenges, overall energy, and a message for the month of June. Before we get into that, I do think it's important to remember that this is a general reading for all of my Scorpios out there. So to get the most out of this reading, it's really important for you to be intuitively connected so you can discern which parts of the message are for you. So it'll kind of be like we're doing this reading together. So to help you guys access your own intuitive and psychic headspace, I'm going to offer a 20-second meditation. And if you guys want to participate in that meditation, go on ahead and get comfortable, get relaxed, get into a nice calm space or state. And when you're ready, we're going to go on ahead and start this 20-second meditation right now. All right, so hopefully that 20-second meditation was enough time for you guys to get intuitively synced in. If not, feel free to go on ahead and pause this video. But don't forget to check out your Moon, Rising, and Venus sign videos that I've linked down below for you guys, so that the way you can have an even more detailed overview for the month, since I've done videos for every single sign for the month of June. So if you want to be fully equipped for the month and really get the best of June, you can head down to the description box for all of those links. But again, thank you guys so much for visiting me. This means the moon to me. Now let's go on ahead and do this and get into this reading. All right, so the very first card that I have for my Scorpios out there, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, is the Five of Wands and the Three of Swords, Knight of Swords, Six of Swords, Justice, Queen of Swords, and the Queen of Wands. All right, so starting off all the way over here with this Five of Wands. So the very left card is dealing with the finances for the month of June. And what I'm seeing with this Five of Wands is that money is going to be going to a lot of different places for my Scorpios this month. So it may kind of feel like that saying for some of you where it's like everyone has their hands in your pockets. And I don't think you're going to take any major financial hits or anything like that this month. But I do think that there's going to be a little frustration with the feeling like you can't keep up, or you can't keep your money to yourself, basically. So I am kind of seeing like your money like kind of being spread around to a whole bunch of different places and it being like a little annoying for you. And then moving on over here to this Three of Swords, and this is representative of your career for the month of June. And what I'm seeing with this Three of Swords for some of my Scorpios is that it looks like as if you're going to stop bringing work home or with you everywhere you go. So some of you may be the types where it's like it's really difficult for you to kind of separate your job from your personal life or your personal world. Whereas like when something happens at work, so like let's say for example, you get into an argument with a coworker, and it literally will stay with you all day. Like even when you're at home and you're completely away from that coworker and that environment, but you're still upset. So I'm seeing my Scorpios finally kind of master the art of separating work from personal life in June, and really freeing up a lot of kind of emotional distress for you in a sense. And now moving on to this Knight of Swords over here, and this is representative of your love life for the month of June. And what I'm seeing with this Knight of Swords, for those of my Scorpios that are in relationships, I'm seeing a breakthrough in terms of communication. It's almost as if like communication will act as like a portal or a gateway for the month of June. And it's either going to make or break your relationship, basically. Through this healthy level of communication, you both are going to be able to be transparent about what it is that you both want. So communication is going to be like a doorway to a lot of illumination. Even if you're single as well, I'm seeing that too, where this is going to be like a really honest time for you about what you truly want, your true intentions, and what you want is going to be so clear in June. Like your intentions are going to be so clear. Well, what it is that you want is going to reveal itself to you, and it's going to be a very clear thing where it's like, okay, I know exactly what it is that I want. And there's going to be no confusion about it. And you'll wear your truth like armor, just the same way that this night is like wearing armor. Like that's how you're going to wear your truth for the month of June. I'm saying for many of my Scorpios. Normally you guys aren't so like kind of wear your heart on your sleeve sort of person. Scorpios naturally, you guys see your emotions as a thing that you have to kind of keep to yourself. You see it as like a weakness that can be used against you, some of my Scorpios, but many of you, most Scorpios, you guys are generally pretty secretive about your emotions and your innermost feelings. So to kind of see you guys really being like, you know what, I really feel like kind of wearing my heart on my sleeve. I feel like being transparent with my emotions is a bit of a different, it's a bit of a shakeup here. But I see many of you not shying away from owning your feelings and just expressing them. I'm really seeing like for June, like you guys just being like, this is how I feel. Moving on over here to the Six of Swords. And Six of Swords is revealing the relationship with your family or your loved ones for the month of June. And what I'm seeing with this is you, again, just really embracing your truth and your emotions for everyone around you to see. The thing is, I get a sense that you're not going to really care about the fallout or the carnage that could result from you being so raw and authentic. Like even in simple conversations, I'm seeing you just be so real, even in times where you might not need to be, but you're going to feel the need in June to just kind of be out there and be very transparent and kind of like say like, you know, like, yeah, this is how I feel. This is who I am. Deal with it. Sorry, not sorry is what I'm really just kind of feeling. And if people take that in a way where it's like offensive, I feel like my Scorpios, many of you guys are just going to kind of be like, well, that's your problem. This is what I'm really feeling like with this over here. And then moving on to this Justice card, and this card is representing your challenges for the month. So I'm seeing that almost like your same strength in a way, this like brutal honesty is also kind of going to be the challenge for you as well. So the challenge that I'm sensing for some of my Scorpios is the ability to be as real with yourself as you're being with everyone else, because that sword that she's holding in this Justice card right here is double-edged and it cuts both ways, not just one. So you being honest may spark or trigger the people around you to come at you with some harsh realities as well that you might not be able or ready to face. So make sure that your, truth, quote unquote, is said with compassion and kindness. Otherwise, people may receive you as just like a cruel or a cold-hearted person. And then you're definitely not going to get, authentic reactions from people, because then people are just kind of reacting off of emotion. People are just kind of acting and behaving off of emotion because maybe you injured their feelings or something like that with you being too brutally honest. So be very careful with that. And moving on over here to this Queen of Swords, what I'm seeing with this Queen of Swords, there's so much swords energy, by the way. Like even this Justice card, she's holding like the sword, and it's just so much swords going on. And then we have 2 wands, but the rest is mainly swords. What I'm seeing with the Queen of Swords is you guys just not taking any bullshit, just not taking any of it and not serving any bullshit this month. Like you guys are not going to be in the mood for any games or surface level BS, or especially anything fake. Like anything fake, anything that's like not genuine is just it's not going to cut it for you. It's not going to be able to be in your presence. Basically, you're not going to have any tolerance for any sort of fakeness, any sort of surface level. It's just not going to be your cup of tea for the month of June. And then moving on all the way over here to the Queen of Wands. So the Queen of Wands, this very last card over here is dealing with the overall, or not the overall, but the message for the month of June. And the message that I got from my Scorpios is don't forget to laugh and enjoy life. Like if you notice throughout this reading, there's a lot of kind of like pale colors and, not very like vibrant colors or anything like that, right? These cards even carried like a sense of heaviness to them. And then you get all the way down to the Queen of Wands, and she is so vibrant, right? She's very, very vibrant. She's not as kind of like lifeless and colorless or pale as these cards over here. And it's kind of reminiscent of how the truth can be. Like the truth can be and feel very heavy, but don't forget to lighten up sometimes, laugh and have fun. It doesn't mean you're lying to yourself or to others just because you're lightening up or you're having fun or you're not going as hard, but just to make sure that you're also accompanying your truth with some warmth and some compassion and love, because this is a very the Queen of Wands, she's a very lively, jovial queen, and I believe she's offering herself or her energy to you for the month, so you don't get caught up in too much of the black versus white, the sort of rigidity with your thinking where it's like, no, things are either, you know, black or white. And even though that is basically the epitome of a Scorpio, you guys are very like, no, I know exactly what this is. This is either good or bad, light or dark, positive or negative, you know, good or evil. You guys are just very, there's no gray in between, kind of like Libra. Libra will kind of see all sides. Scorpios, you guys are very like, no, this is what it is, you know, very kind of definitive. So let's go ahead and take a look at you guys' oracle cards to see if there's anything else we're picking up for the month. So the very first card that we have here is Deer. And Deer is kind of like the Queen of Wands over here. She's very loving, the Deer. She's very loving, intuitive, and graceful. She's considered the mother. So the Deer appears when there is a birth or a celebration of a new life, or when a situation calls for absolute gentleness and compassion. Just like I was saying over here with the Queen of Wands, you can be as truthful as you want to. Just make sure that you're accompanying all this brutal, harsh truth with some love and compassion and some gentleness, just like what the Deer says. So the very next card that we have here is Auralite. So Auralite deals with the sign Aquarius, and it's all about stilling the mind. So profound healing and a conscious connection to the soul, the universal mind, as well as higher dimensions can occur. And I think that's exactly what many of my Scorpios are aiming for in June, is this feeling of oneness with the self. And I believe that you're trying to achieve that through being very truthful, just being very truthful to your core, to yourself, to others, and expecting the same thing back. The next card that we have here is Orphaned. Yeah, so be careful not to isolate yourself from being too harsh with people. People may try to distance themselves or avoid you if you're being careless with your authenticity. Be kind and humble with everyone unless the situation calls for something else, you know, but you know, make sure that, you know, not every situation needs this harsh, you know, really harsh kind of Pluto-like energy truth to it, where it's just kind of, you know, it's just everything's really definitive, you know, like Pluto's like god of death, so it's everything's pretty definitive. There's really no gray area, but it's okay to have a gray area every now and then, so that the way, especially you're not feeling like isolated, and that the way you're not feeling alone or orphaned, you know. And the very last three cards that we have here is Impartiality, Creation, both dealing with the crown chakra here, and Recovery, dealing with the third eye chakra. So yeah, just like how this Auralite card talked about connection to higher dimensions, I see with these three cards here, they're both dealing with the soul, or not the soul, but the crown chakra and the third eye chakra, and that definitely deals with connecting to higher dimensions when we're dealing with those upper chakras. So that would make a lot of sense with this Auralite card over here. But basically what I'm seeing with these last three cards here is they're all kind of confirming the spread for me, especially with Impartiality, kind of stating the importance of not being too stuck in your own ways, or just being able to see more than one side. And Creation for me is referring to the fact that you can totally create this environment ran off of authenticity, because that is one path for you to reach this kind of level of connectedness to all things. But you know, just make sure you're still being kind. I feel like I always have to kind of like put that in there for my Scorpios. Just make sure you're being nice, because I know you guys can seem a little disconnected from your emotion. And then Recovery for me over here feels like this need to recover fragmented pieces of the self or the soul in order to reach this place where you're feeling whole and connected to all things, and especially to yourself. So I'm really just seeing like you guys really just trying to connect to something deeper, bigger, something more of the collective, the universal collective, something like that. And I see that you guys feel like the only way, like I said, to get there is through this really harsh truth and this really authentic, transparent sort of aspect of yourself, which is true. You know, that's definitely one way to connect. But like I'm still gonna add that in there. Just make sure that when it comes to dealing with other people and truth and being truthful with other people, that you are being kind and you're being compassionate. Okay, so this is all that I'm seeing with my Scorpios, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really do hope hope that this reading brought you guys some clarity, some support, and some strength for this month of June. But my Scorpios, you guys really look like you're going to be okay for the month of June for sure. Like I was saying, don't forget to go on ahead and check out your moon, rising, and Venus sign videos. They are linked in the description box below if you haven't checked those out already. But again, like I was saying, thank you guys so much for visiting me. Thank you for allowing me to do this reading for you. And hopefully you guys come back to visit me sometime soon. So I will be back next time. All right, guys. Bye.